Hi everyone, so today we're going to cover the squat, and in my preference to the squat is a low bar position. Okay, so you can have a high bar squat where the bar sits higher up on the traps, or a low bar squat where the bar sits on the rear delts. Today we're going to cover off the low bar squat. Okay, so in setup, making sure that when you take your hand position is as close to the body as you can make it, that your shoulders allow. Okay, some people can go nice and close to the body, others will have to go a little bit further apart. Okay, thumb around the bar or over. I tuck them over and pull my fingers and hands down into the bar to pull the bar into my back. This is more comfortable for my shoulders. Okay, so once you've got your hand set up for your position, you'll have to play with that to find what's suitable for you. Okay, we're going to bring the body through. So pull the body through until you get it at the point on the back or on the shoulders, on the rear delts that you want the bar to sit at. Okay, again with this you'll have to experiment a little bit to see how low you can get it. Okay, but typically you'll find just on the rear delt there. Okay, so feet under the bar. Okay, shoulder width apart. We're going to unrack the bar, standing up. Take one step back with each leg. Okay, we should find ourselves in our set or our stance position. Okay, feet are about shoulder width apart. Okay, maybe just slightly out. Toes pointing forward or slightly out. From this point here, the first thing that we're going to do is take a big breath in. Okay, I always want the eyes to stay forward or looking slightly up. Okay, so I'm not one to promote looking down in a squat. I like to keep the musculature of the spine on, so we're looking forward or up. It's going to help us keep tightness in the back. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take a nice big breath in. So when we breathe, we're going to use the Valsalva maneuver. So the tongue's going to go behind the teeth and the roof of the mouth. After you take your breath, you're going to close your mouth and then breathe out into that locked position. So that's going to be your breath. So you're breathing out forcefully against your tongue and the roof of your mouth, but you're not opening your mouth, you're actually breathing air out. Okay? So the first cue is that you take the Valsalva maneuver and breathe in. You'll bring your armpits down towards your hips. What that does is actually locks your back in. Okay? So that's the second cue. The third cue is that we're going to grab the floor with our feet and we're going to pull the floor apart so that our knees stay out during the whole movement. Okay, so running through those cues, big breath in, pull down, breathing out at the top of the movement. So it's really important to take that big breath in at the top so we create intra-abdominal pressure. Okay, that's going to support everything and keep everything tight when we're lowering ourselves into the squat. Okay. Pulling the armpits down towards the hips is going to keep the back tight and pulling the floor apart. So when I say that, imagine if there was two pieces of flooring. You're grabbing the floor with your feet as if they were claws and you're literally trying to pull the floor apart. What that does is it will open your knees up, keep your knees out the entire movement, which enables your hamstrings and your glutes to load properly. What a lot of people find in the squat is they squat down, their knees come in, and they lose a lot of the assistance from the hamstring and the glutes. And then what happens is the back angle comes up at a different rate and they lose a lot of power in the squat. Okay. One of the squat accessories, a belt. So definitely recommend in working sets to be using a belt. You don't have to, but I would recommend it. I prefer a lever belt. You can get the single or dual prong belts as well. Okay. The reasoning for using one of the belts here is to create more intra-abdominal pressure. So when you're breathing in and holding that breath, as your tummy expands, it pushes out into the belt and creates basically a tighter bracing to support the movement. When you're putting the belt on, you should be able to put your fingers just down the front of the belt. Okay, you don't need it any tighter than that or you're going to struggle to get your breath in. Okay, so sitting back up again, Hand position first. Head under the center of the bar and pull through. Feet under the bar. Pull the elbows back and down. Unrack. Step, step. Big breath. Pull down. Only breathing out at the top of the movement, not breathing in or out on the way down or on the way up. So breathe in, pull the armpits down. Breathe out. So one last thing as well is back angle. So in terms of once you've unracked the bar, I actually like to unrack the bar tall, step back. And in training, it's different in powerlifting, but in training, I like to set the back angle, so I push back on the hips. Okay, I still keep the legs locked. There's no real bend in the knees there. Okay, so I'm just pushing back on the hips, setting the angle, so that when I pull apart, I'm basically dropping my hips straight down and driving up. I don't need to bring the hips through into a locked position at the top, because then I need to push back in to that back position on the way down for the next rep. I keep my hips pushed back, keep the bar tight on my back, and I'm basically just dropping and driving from that position. Okay? So I hope that helps with your squats. Until the next video.